Hey everyone, so I'm back at it again with another video. This time, like I said, I'm going to do my cartoon collection from the, my very small one that I have. I'll go over it, and I also kind of want to reminisce on cartoons and cartoon Fridays and all that. Um, let's see if I can. Let's just leave it like that. And this one was uploaded by Rugrats 1991. So, and then there's also a lot of people who upload cartoon stuff, cartoon Fridays and all that to YouTube. So I appreciate you guys for doing that. That's awesome. But anyway, let's get into this collection first. I'm gonna have this playing in the background just as a mood thing. This is if you didn't see it before, Ed and Eddie hosting cartoon Fridays. Um, so yeah, let's get into this. So first, speaking of that, I got Ed and Eddie season 1. Got Ed and Eddie season 1, which I got years and years ago, probably like 2006-ish. And then back, and then here's the discs. Disc 1 has Eddie, and then disc 2 has Ed with 1D. And then here's the episode guide, which is basic, but it's nice. Sorry, I don't know why that was zoomed in. Unfortunately, my also the back too. It's now available. Which, speaking of which, that is the successor to Cartoon Fridays. But we're not here to discuss that era. So yeah, that is Ed and Eddie season 1. And then here's Ed and Eddie season 2. Front, side, and back. The discs, Eddie and Double D this time. And then the episode guide. Unfortunately, I don't think season 3 onward was released on DVD in the United States, which sucks because this was my favorite, not just cartoon, but favorite Western cartoon of all time. I would say, hell, even animation, like animated shows, it's not the best quality. It's, very lowbrow, but it's so good, such an enjoyable show. It really defined a lot of my childhood, which I freaking love this show. So it's top 5 animated shows of all time for me, counting anime and all that. I'm actually gonna save this for last. But next we got Courage the Cowardly Dog, the complete series, the Cartoon Network Hall of Fame. So basically, this is kind of like Dragon Ball GT, the complete series, where it's just they just kind of threw like the previous releases together, which is fine. It's not a huge deal. It's still got every single episode. This one I got a couple years ago. I think 2018. I want to say. So. It also has this Boomerang ad. Which, if you don't want to talk about cartoons and just regular old school cartoons, I do want to start watching Boomerang, but I just don't really have a place to stream it other than my phone or my tablet. Anyway, so here's the discs. Season 2 disc 1, season 2 disc 2. They all have Courage on it, basically. The exception of this, which is the mask that Eustace always wears, and this one has Muriel on it. So yeah. Wait, I already showed that. Courage the Cowardly Dog, out of all the cartoons, is probably my second favorite. That is a very, very good show. It's very experimental at times. It's funny. It scared the crap out of me when I was younger, especially, obviously, the Return to Slab episode. But this is a great release if you want to own it on DVD, obviously. Get this, by the way, instead of the on Amazon, The seasons, if you buy all the 5 like regular season sets, it'll be more than this. So I would just recommend buying this, which is what I did. And then this one I got 2012-ish for Christmas, which is the 4 kids' favorites, the Hall of Fame collection, which has Johnny Bravo, Dexter's Lab, and then the 2 that I already showed. Unfortunately, this is the same as, obviously that, because it's the complete, that I was pointing at, which is the complete series, so it'll be the same. Dexter and Johnny, I do want to get these on these season sets, but I don't know. I feel like if I do, this is going to be pointless, but either way. Dexter's Lab, I liked it a lot. I still like it to this day, but it was never my favorite cartoon. I thought it was really creative, and I thought like the other stuff, like the Avengers parody, I can't think of it right now. Then the Dial M for Monkey, like I thought that was all cool. I did like the regular show too, not regular show, the regular Dexter's Lab show, like, but it was never like compared to like the other shows. It was kind of on the bottom. Unfortunately, I don't even own most of them, obviously. But like compared to Ed and Eddie, Courage, Johnny Bravo, which I'll get to in a second, Powerpuff. Um, yeah, so that was like those shows I liked more than Dexter's Lab. But there are some like, there's other cartoons that have been kind of lost to time, like, or Cow and Chicken I do like more than this too as well. But there's other cartoons that have been lost to time that I do like less than this, but I still, well, okay, there's one I don't like. Well, Whatever Happened to Robot Jones was alright. Time Squad was pretty good, but this was still better. Mike, Lou, and Og, unpopular opinion, I freaking hated that show. Still to this day, do not like it. That was the worst cartoon. Anyway, then Johnny Bravo as well, which was, in terms of cartoons, was in my top 4. I think Courage, the Eds, and Powerpuff were better, but this was, I thought this show was freaking hilarious. I always did. Johnny Bravo is probably one of the, nobody really talks about him anymore, but I think personally he's one of the most like iconic cartoon characters just because of how outlandish and how real he is. And then this, the April Fool's Ed and Eddie, which is funny because this is the only Ed and Eddie DVD I was missing up until this point. I had season 1 and 2. I had the other collection with the Jawbreaker. I was missing this one, and this is the one it came with, so that was pretty cool. Anyway, enough rambling. Here's the back. So yeah, that's my whole collection so far. I would like to get more, but yes, what to say about cartoons? It was, that era of Cartoon Network was so creative. In the Cartoon Fridays block, even in, I'll count this as the Cartoon era, or the Powerhouse era, I guess I'll say. With Toonami as well, obviously, if you've seen my past videos, I like anime, and that's thanks to Toonami and Kids WB too, but mainly Toonami. Well, I guess it'd be half and half, honestly. But Toonami was a big factor in that. Cartoon Fridays was a big factor in me getting into Western animation, cartoons in general, like Cartoon Primetime, Cartoon Show, all that stuff was very creative. I loved how all the characters like this would interact and how they would like host shows and get you really pumped up for new shows. I know a lot of people say the City era was the best, and I'm not saying you're wrong. I personally liked this era more just because, I don't know, I thought it was a lot more just creative, and I thought the shows at the time were a lot better. Not because I grew up with them, but even like looking at it objectively, in my opinion anyway, I think the shows back then were probably the best Cartoon Network had to offer. And that doesn't mean Cartoon Network went to hell later on. I'm not one of those 92 to 2004, rest in peace. Like, it was still good after that. It was 2010 was a great revitalization year for Cartoon Network, as a matter of fact. But yeah, then there's so many other things, like the Big Game was awesome. Like, just that was another thing that's so underrated now. the Super Bowl parody where they would just have John Madden and Pat Summerall commentate over like Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck cartoons and keep arbitrary scores. Just it was so fun, and like even Cartoon Fridays, they had the tailgate party for one of the big games. I mean, it just got you so excited, and a lot of the bumpers, like they had the Kurds, the Cowardly Dog, and the Scooby Doo crossover. You had the Blair Witch parody with Scooby Doo. There's a lot of Scooby Doo stuff, but it was just like it was so. I can't really put it into words. It was just so good. Um, I personally liked it more than the Nicktoons. I'm more of a Cartoon Network guy, but yeah. So I mean, I am not a great speaker, but it was a great time to be a kid. The powerhouse era of Cartoon Network with cartoons, the anime that was coming out at the time, the old school cartoons, all the weird like extra stuff they did, like the big game and the Cartoon Network election too. I almost forgot about that. They did that twice, once in this era and once in the city era. Ed from Ed, and Eddie won both times, which is pretty great. But but yeah. So I mean, if you're more curious, check out other channels like Rugrats 1991 here, like 90s Cartoon Network, CCF Freak. They got all kinds of stuff from this era you can go and check out if you were not around. I've seen the comments. I've seen a lot of people say, "Oh, I was born in 2006," on these videos, not my videos, but and it makes me feel old and all that. But if you're not around for that era, or if you didn't watch TV, or if you're too old, or whatever, I would recommend going back and watching it. Maybe it's a bit different for me because I grew up with this stuff. I'm 27, so I was in elementary school when all this stuff was coming out. So it might be different for me, but I would still recommend it to anyone, even if people my age who may be missing. Recommend it to anyone. Just go back on YouTube, just watch these videos. I know it's not an official thing, and it's not helping Cartoon Network in any way, but financially that is. But it was so good, and I just highly recommend it to everybody. And again, thank you to the people who have uploaded these videos. I really appreciate it. You didn't do it for me, but I still appreciate it because it's always super fun to go back and watch. And I've been binging, and not even just cartoon stuff, but like also Toonami, like old Toonami bumpers, old Cartoon Fridays, stuff like this. Been going back and watching all of them, and it's a blast. So yep, until next time, guys. I'll see you later.